What is going on? Welcome to Fan Football Talk, where I sit here and I talk football, I talk wrestling, and we've been going on a wrestling spree lately. So let's keep it up, and we'll get into my top 10 men's wrestlers on the current roster. And when I say current roster, I do not just mean the main roster, there could be some NXT guys in here. So let's get into it. Now, in no particular order, I'm gonna go with AJ Styles. AJ Styles, his body of work and the way that he is in the ring, his mic skills, and I've always been a fan of AJ Styles. AJ Styles will always be in my top 10 no matter where he's at, just because of who he is and how he's built his brand. I really like that. So it'll be AJ Styles. The next one, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is a great in-ring performer. I'm glad they were able to bring him to the main roster and they didn't just do this whole put him in NXT. He is the main deal. He will be a world champion one day, or even just a United States champion. Who knows? But he is way better than Solo is in ring and, on the mic. He is so much better than what I thought he was going to be coming to the main roster. So I like Jacob Fatu. 8. And this is crazy. Dominic Mysterio. As much as I didn't really like him at first when he came into WWE, I really did like when he turned heel and everybody started booing him. He's to the point where he can't even really talk without really getting booed. So I really do like that. As well as this whole storyline that he had with Rhea and Liv and how that was being played out. I really did like that and enjoy it. So Dominic Mysterio, hopefully he can be one of the next greats in WWE, and he's fairly young, so he has time to build and develop. So I like Dominic. Now 7 is a tag team. And I wouldn't even say 7. This next one is more of a tag team. I just have them at 7 on the list because I just did it like that. We got the Street Profits. The Street Profits are one of my favorites. The Street Profits are one of my favorite tag teams right now. Besides Fraxium, the Street Profits are pretty great, and I'm glad that they were able to win Tag Team Gold. I think it had been like 4 years since they last won Tag Team Gold, which is diabolical and crucial. I don't know why they went so long without Tag Team Gold, but they were pretty good and they've always been pretty good. I just feel like they've kind of wasted the last couple years of their careers based off the fact that they couldn't have had Tag Team Gold sooner. But next up, we got Mr. Thank You, Chad Gable. Chad Gable is one of these guys where you don't really see him have a bad match. And especially those matches he had with Gunther and with Sammy, it really put me over as a Chad Gable fan because that move, the Chaos Theory, oh my God. I seen him do that at WrestleMania. I forget which one it was, but it was one of the more recent ones when he did it to Braun Strowman. It was great. And it's more of like he's a technical wrestler and more of doing the wrestling, like wrestling type of wrestling, if that makes sense. And he's just like Kurt Angle. He's a form of Kurt Angle without being Kurt Angle. He doesn't have the ball head aggression, let me say that. But I want Chad Gable to win the singles title at some point in time through this year. Don't know if he's ever going to beat like Braun Breaker or Penta or Ludwig, whoever it might be. Hopefully he does win a singles title this year. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has always been in my top 10, just like AJ Styles, because Seth Rollins, he's just so good. He's good on the mic. I like how when he did the whole Monday Night Messiah thing, it was more of a psychological thing. He was trying to play with people. And now that he's gotten into this phase where he's just doing it for the hate, I really do like Seth Rollins. I always have, even when he became part of the Authority. And when he was with the Authority till before he blew his knee out, he was, you could argue, the best wrestler in the world. He was always busting out new moves and always, doing the things that you never would really see him do. Now, this is what I mean by this list could have NXT guys. Obafemi. Obafemi is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I hope they put a world title on him almost immediately when he gets up to the main roster. I think he should have got called up to the main roster well before that. Because Obafemi can be just almost anything. He can feud with almost anybody. I remember the promo where he said, I'm the ruler, I'm the destroyer, I'm the mountain that you cannot climb, and I am something that you cannot conquer. My God. And then he told Ava, yeah, you can send everybody that you want towards me, but don't send somebody that you don't want back. Oh my God. That is scary. Pretty scary. But Obafemi is a force to be reckoned with. He is currently NXT champion. I don't know who they are going to have to take that belt off of Obafemi, because I think what they're going to do is probably have Trick Williams play this whole heel thing out and then call him up to the main roster. But Obafemi, I don't know who's going to take the belt off him so he can come up to the main roster at some point. But whoever that is, they have huge shoes to fill. And then Drew McIntyre. Now, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if Drew McIntyre would have made this list, no. Obviously. But Drew McIntyre, ever since he was Drew Galloway in TNA, I was always a fan of him since then. And since he's came back as the Scottish Warrior, the Scottish Psychopath, he's been very good in the ring. I love his promo skills. I love how he's looked at as a villain, but he's not in the wrong. And I'm starting to like this, like Seth, KO, and Drew, their crash outs are reasonable. And they're looked at as heels, but they're in the right for what they're doing. But Drew McIntyre, I love the Claymore kicks because it comes out of pretty much nowhere. Glasgow Kiss is a great move. I just feel like Drew McIntyre, you could say he's one of the best in the company right now. 2 on this list is Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker, he's been fairly good. It's amazing to me that he's also just like Dom, just pretty young and on the main roster already at this young in his career. And he's only going to get better. He's probably going to become a world champion at some point, just like Obafemi. He is going to become a world champion and be a force to be reckoned with. So I love Bron Breakker, and I want him to do a little bit more Steiner math, which honestly would be hilarious if he could do a little bit more Steiner math. Props to his uncle. But yeah, I would love to see more Bron Breakker. And then one top of this list is Kevin Owens. Now, like I said, this is in no particular order, but this is just, the guy that I thought of first. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, ever since he was Kevin Steen in TNA, was really good. And some of the feuds he had was great. Like, I'm just saying, like, I remember when he was the Universal Champion and there was the list of Jericho, then he turned on Jericho and was able to beat Jericho. I remember when he was in the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title because it had to be vacant by yours truly, Finn Balor, who is an honorable mention on this list. And he won because of Triple H, obviously. But that was a great nod to him. Great nod to him. And then these feuds he's been having lately with, Cody and what he did with Roman for like 4 or 5 years, and then the unsanctioned match with Sami Zayn. And I can't wait to see what he does with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. But this is great. This is great for Kevin Owens, and it shows like, let's see, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Rollins, Mysterio, Fatu, they're showing that you don't need a title to have a good storyline or to have the spotlight on you. They're doing this without a title. So that's the type of things I like. Realize I got the tag team champions, the NXT champion, and the Intercontinental champion on here out of 10 people. Most of these guys don't even need a championship to carry a storyline. They can just do it naturally because they've been doing it either for so long or it just comes to them naturally or it's in their blood. But those are my top 10 current male superstars in the WWE. And let me know your top 10, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.